Okay, and we are live. I am here. This is our first episode of Beyond the Screen with me, Tabitha Sims. And we're here with Kevin, also known as Kiwi, on TikTok, correct?
Yes.
Yes, that's your biggest platform that you're on, right?
Yep, TikTok and then Instagram, and those are my only platforms.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure there. Okay, so since you do have, I'm just going to jump right into it. We're just going to start talking about it.
All right.
So since you do have a very large TikTok following, you've mentioned that creating content is your full-time job. Was there like a specific video or moment where you're like, this thing has legs to go? Like this can be my job. I don't need anything else. And what was it?
Well, it's actually, so to clarify, it's like a hobby. It's my full-time job is actually not even social media related. But content creating is like a full-time job because it does take a lot of thought. I do have to come up with a lot of ideas and, keep on top of all of the latest trends and try to make myself relevant and stay relevant. But I think the defining moment for me was probably before the app was TikTok, when it was Musically. I had started, and within like 2 or 3 days, I had jumped up to 20,000 followers. And from that point, I was like, holy cow, this is insane. What in the world is this? And so I had just kept going with it and going with it. And like, 2 years later, I ended up getting verified on the app. And then from there, it just got more and more intense and serious as time progressed. And from there, I would definitely say my content has evolved into a much more concise and cohesive page that kind of encapsulates like a part of me, but does not capture all of me. I try to be as transparent as possible, but obviously, people follow for certain things, and I try to feed into that as much as possible.
Right. You want to keep some things to yourself. The whole world doesn't need to know everything that you're doing all of the time, family-wise, stuff like that. And so you said Musically. Sorry, I always called it Lily. That was always like everyone has things that they do. That was my thing. But what was the song? What was your Musically song? That was it. Do you remember?
Oh man, that is reaching far back. Let's see if I can remember. It actually wasn't even a song that was like the defining moment. It was like I had a friend from the UK had asked me to participate in this like challenge where you have like your hat in your mouth and you flip it onto your head. And I was like, yeah, man, that sounds like really fun. I'll go ahead and give it a shot. Do you want me to just like credit you in the caption, whatever? And he's like, yeah, if you could do that, that'd be great. So I posted it like, I don't know, it was like at 8 o'clock in the evening, and I was just thinking nothing of it. I just thought of helping a friend out. I woke up the next morning, and that video had like 60,000 likes and had been shared like a number of times. And it turns out that was my first ever like Musically feature. Like the app featured that video for people to see.
Was it like okay, but you have to have like a song in the background, right? When you do stuff like.
Not for that, no. It was like literally just me blindly trying to do this. Like I just recorded like my own original audio, like just my voice being like, damn it, I can't do this. And I finally got it. So it was more of like a reaction like type video than like an actual challenge video.
Yeah, that's actually really funny. I was just crazy. Now you just said that wasn't your full-time job. Content creating, isn't it? So what is?
So I actually like work for AT&T. I just got promoted into a new role, so I'm going to be taking that on next week. But even before AT&T, I've been working ever since I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
I got myself through my undergrad program. My job now helped me get through my grad school program. So like outside of social media, I have like a lot of educational like aspirations and career goals that I'd like to achieve, and like completely separate from social media that I don't really ever talk about because number one, no one's ever asked me, and number two, it's just one of those things where it's like, where do I draw the line between what I keep separate and what I keep, people in the loop with? Like, obviously, I'll text my friends and let them know all of this stuff, but like, do I find it always necessary to post every single little life detail on like my Instagram story or make a TikTok video about it? Like, it's especially like when it comes to like relationships and stuff like that. I always make jokes about like being single and stuff like that, but
yeah,
I would never like number one date somebody like for the sheer aspect of putting every single part of our relationship onto the internet, but like it's also just like this isn't even what people followed me for. Why am I going to flood them with this kind of stuff,
Right, you have to know your audience, and your audience are here for flipping hats, and we just learned that, but they're here for your relationship drama. No, I get it. You don't need, the world doesn't need to know, but what I find fascinating is that you are able to do that. Like, you're able to have this whole social media following and stuff like that, and people try very hard to get into that, but you also mentioned having a BA and an MBA, and I am personally very interested in knowing what those are used for. So you said you're working at T-Mobile. Is that what you put that into, or was it?
So
point.
They were actually other goals. So when I was in my undergrad program, I actually really wanted to be a high school English teacher because I had a really great high school English teacher, and for the longest time, I was horrible at English, and like writing essays were like the bane of my existence, and I just didn't understand what they meant by, oh yeah, read and annotate this book. Go out there and read Lord of the Flies and annotate that book. That was sheer torture for me. And then to write an analytical essay after, I was like, nah, dog, that's a no for me. But I had one English teacher turn like my entire view on its head because I had believed that in English courses there's like a correct answer, and that's what teachers want to see on like your essays. And I just had so much trouble finding this correct answer. And then she told me in class one day, Kev, it's not always about finding the correct answer. It's about solidifying your view and backing it up with evidence. I don't care what kind of answer you come up with. If you can back it up, that's what I want to see. I want to see you digging. And I was like, huh. So it was like a whole epiphany moment. And I dedicated my whole like undergrad career to basically wanting to help kids in like high school that were in similar situations as me find their aha moment and like have it all click. But after clinicals, like after going and like trying student teaching, it was not my thing. I am not a disciplinarian.
I took one class in educational diversity. The stuff you guys have to learn in order to be a teacher is just, that one class was enough for me to be like, absolutely not. Like, it's so hard. Like, anyone that is managing being a teacher, like, especially COVID especially, but like just in general, like being a teacher is such a difficult thing. So the fact that you're even considering it is good, and then learn.
But I ended up dropping the education part off in my very last semester, or not my very last semester. It was like the semester after clinicals. I was like, no, we're done. I'm not doing this. And what I had failed to do was inform the head of the department. And so he emailed me and was like, you need to email me ASAP. You have less than a semester left and you have this many courses left. So I emailed him and was like, hey, I'm actually dropping the education portion off of my degree, so sorry I didn't let you know. And he was just like, oh, in that case, congratulations. So
nice.
Unfortunately, I ended up just getting a bachelor's in English, which everyone makes a joke, what do you even do with that? You actually get like so many life skills out of it, which I could dive into and talk about for like hours because like it's so fascinating that people overlook it. But
anything you get a degree in, you sit there and you learn so much stuff that you just Like for me personally, like I'm in journalism and promotional communications, and it's not hard to get a job in it, but the stuff you learn from it, well, and everyone says, oh, you didn't really need that. You did, because there is so much. Like for me personally, like you don't want to do school, more power to you. Like you have to, that you've got to be very strong to find a job and not go to school, and I get that. And a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to like do that, and then you take those skills and just use them everywhere all the time. Like I do, sure you do 24/7. I'm sure that kind of helps with the social media stuff too. Like you kind of learn the way people are, you know?
Yeah, and that's a big part of it because English is it's literally an art of people because not only do you have to understand like a person as a writer, but you have to understand how their writing is a direct reflection of like the type of person they are. And that's really helped with like with my interpersonal skills, which is great, and my communication skills, great, my written and oral skills, great. And that's how I got my first internship job at AT&T, which was basically my in to my current job. And they didn't even really look for specific people. Like they didn't want like STEM majors. They didn't want like people who were majoring in science or electric engineering. That one. That they didn't care about that stuff. They just wanted college students. So I signed up, and I learned a lot on the job. And that's when I graduated. They're like, we can keep you until April, so try to find a job like between now and then. There was a job literally in the same office building that had opened up. I applied, got it, and I've been there since. And then my director at the time was like, "You're really good at this. Have you considered going to like grad school? Because the company has like tuition reimbursement programs you could take up." So I looked into it, applied, and she was like, "Go forth and do great things." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." And getting a business degree did definitely help, and especially with nailing this promotion, it did definitely help because my professional. Oh yeah, I start next week. My previous job that I'm leaving was like a call center type job, like first level support for our major business contracts, and then the job that I'm going into now is for technical process and quality. So it's like examining processes between different internal groups. Projects to improve them, etc., etc. There's it's like a team of like 10 or 15 people. So I'm really excited. It's stuff that I've wanted to do for a long time. I'm all about being the driving force behind positive change. So I think that it's going to be a fantastic fit for me, and definitely is going to allow me to like fix up my home office thing that I've got going on because it's a mess right now.
You've been working from home a lot, I'm guessing, because of that. Yeah, we're all on that boat. How have you been coping with that? Do you get up every day out of your pajamas and do everything, or do you do it in your pajamas? I'm just curious, because there are many days where I do not put myself together and turn my camera off and put myself on mute. Like, I'm not here, but I'm here.
I will 100% do my skincare routine and like get myself coffee and breakfast, but pajamas, I am a firm believer that pajamas are an appropriate piece of workplace clothing. Okay? People can debate me on that. I can still feel professional and my age in my sweatpants and a t-shirt. And I will fight somebody over that.
I respect that. So something I found really unique about you is that you said you don't follow any other content creators. And what was super cool about what you said was that it kind of makes you get in your head about what you do. Like it like makes you, which I feel like everybody does in general with social media. Like for me, like say I move into an apartment, I'm still gonna look at the girl that moved into a house the next day and be like, excuse me, like what is that all about, you know? So have you gotten yourself into a space where it's hard for you to create off of seeing somebody else, where it's like, oh, I gotta be better than that, or anything like that? Or have you ever even tried to like fix your style looking at someone else? Like, I want to know that. Like,
yeah. So I do. So like a lot of my friends are content creators, and we're mutuals. We follow each other, but I kind of have to take like specific care to not watch their stuff all the time because super early on into like after I got verified, I had started falling into like this severe bout of imposter syndrome. I really didn't feel like I was deserving. I didn't feel that I was doing enough, and I didn't feel that I fit like this specific mold of like a verified creator on an app that was pumping out content every day. So there was a long time that I would just like look at other verified creators and try to do what they were doing. So for a long time, I didn't even know what kind of stuff I wanted to make. I was literally just like copying and pasting and like kind of altering it to fit me. And now in TikTok, I've kind of, and obviously now that I've gotten older too, it's been a lot of why am I doing this? This is such a toxic mindset to be in. Like I am belittling myself to make other content creators like seem better than me, and that's not the case. Like it's kind of wrong to I mean it's 100% wrong to compare what it is I'm doing to people who are in different genres and who appeal to different niches. It's like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
And then it all just boils down to numbers. Like sometimes my numbers aren't as good as they could be, and then I look at people who are raking in millions of likes daily, and I'm like, why can't I have that? But then I realize that's totally okay because I'm not that person. Like, I'm not gonna rail in that many likes because I'm not them. I am me. Whatever I get, I'm 100% grateful for now. Like, I used to like beat myself up, and like I had to like talk to my friends so often, like, oh my god, guys, this is eating me up on the inside. I just feel so inferior. And they're like, you realize you're comparing yourself to people that you'll never be, right? And I'm like, and this is why I value my friends who are not into social media, because they're able to give me the reality slap that I absolutely 100% need. It's like, can you wake up? Like, you are not them. You're you. You do something that is specific to you that's not like them. And so what if it doesn't get as many likes? So what if you don't have as many followers? Who gives a fuck? Like, if that's who you want to be, by all means do it, but do it your own way. Don't try and like be like them, because then you're gonna lose track of who you even are. And I think that's some of the most valuable advice I've ever gotten from like a friend outside of social media. And I'm after doing a lot of like managing of the people that I associate with online, it's also kind of taken on a similar look where my friends online still tell me the same thing of, dude, fuck that, like, you're cool, you're you, you're not like them, why would you want to be like them? Like, why are you trying to subscribe to this like team think method of what they're doing is right, so you need to do it? Like, no, don't do that.
Right. Definitely. Like I said, it's like when you see other people doing other things, I feel like everybody kind of has that mentality of like, well, what am I doing wrong? But you're not. Like, everyone has their own path that they're going on and stuff like that. So I'm proud of you. So that's how you kind of pull yourself out of it, is to be just like, I'm not that person. This is me, and this is what I'm doing. Right? Cool. So bringing your back to, like you said, friends. So your friends are outside of social media, but the ones that are on, you said that they are across genres in creating content. What kind of content do they create? And are you, so you don't like, and is it easier to like relate to people that aren't creating the same content that you do? So that way you guys aren't like in competition, because you guys are in two different things. Like, you're in the same field, but it's two different like categories.
Yeah, definitely. And I do have several friends in different genres of the TikTok world. I have friends that are like strictly in pet TikTok who only post videos of like their pets. And don't get me wrong.
Tell them I said hi.
I'm honestly such a sucker for a good dog or cat video, and like birds, especially birds. They like, honestly, they are so sweet.
Yes.
I have some friends that do strictly cooking videos, and especially like for me, I don't know about you, Tabitha, I'm not a good cook.
I'm not a good cook. Like,
I can't cook to save my life.
like macaroni and cheese sometimes. Like I'm not a good cook, and I'm a girl. I know I should know how to cook. I don't know how to cook.
And like it's like when I see a recipe that I really want to try, I'll save that video. Like I remember I had stayed the night at my ex's house and I wanted to make him breakfast. And personally, I love French toast in the morning. And
You too.
I make French toast like a specific way, and it definitely did not look as good as this video. So I was like, let me try this.
Nothing
ever does. So I was like, let me try to impress him. So I saved this video, waited till the morning. Well, we went shopping the night before because we wanted to make dinner, and then I was like, oh, I'll make us breakfast the next morning. So I bought like Texas toast. I bought like eggs, cinnamon, vanilla, the works for this breakfast. And I mean, it may not have been as pretty as that video, but I tell you, that shit was fire. I was so impressed. And that's exactly why I value friends in different genres. Like especially like in I have some friends that do makeup, and like although I don't wear makeup every single day and I'm not like a huge makeup person, let's say for example, like for Halloween it was super helpful because like I wasn't going to use cheap Halloween makeup and destroy the skin that I've worked so hard to get to where it's at now. So I went out and like bought like drugstore foundation and like stuff like this because based off of their recommendations. And I even messaged them the night after and I was like, listen here. I took your suggestions for drugstore makeup because I wanted to do a Halloween look for a party I was going to. And bitch, let me tell you, my skin thanks you. My look looked great. And I'm so thankful that you're a friend of mine. And they're like, this is what I live for. I'm glad that it helped you.
Honestly, though, I can relate to that because I didn't really know how to do my makeup either before, like, because, you know, like, growing up, like, no one goes, hey, here's how you do makeup. And I learned how to do my makeup through, like, YouTubers and stuff like that because I'm old. TikTok is just, I wasn't there for it, you know, so YouTube is where I learned it from, and you learn so much from these people. Like, and if your drugstore makeup is e.l.f., was it e.l.f.?
No, it was actually Maybelline.
Okay, so Maybelline's my everyday foundation.
I went with Maybelline Fit Me.
Oh, that's literally what I use every day. So if you ever use e.l.f. though, that's a 10 out of 10. Like, would recommend. Good. They just did a brand deal with Chipotle. Like, they're doing like a makeup palette with Chipotle. So
they sure are.
Yeah, they are, and I'm gonna buy it because it's only $16, and it might not blend well, but I'm here for it, obviously. So, yeah, for sure, I understand learning so much.
But with friends in the same genre as me, especially like when it comes to gaming, like which is what I do now, is mainly gaming and Genshin Impact content. Yeah, I'm really glad that I decided to consolidate my content now that I'm older, because if I had done it when I was younger and met this group of people then, I probably would have been super competitive and gotten super butthurt if their videos were more successful than me. But now that I'm older, I can really say that I'm grateful that I've met them now, because now it's more of like we support each other, we play like online together, and it's a very like non-toxic community that I'm super grateful to be a part of, and I think a lot of it just attributes to like with age comes wisdom and the experience to not be like the jealous bitch of the group that's like, oh, you only got like 1,000 likes on this video. I got 1,500. Like, no, that's not my style. Like, I could really, that likes don't determine anything to me.
I can definitely understand that. When I first started off as a journalist, I definitely never wanted to collaborate with anyone. And this, anyone watching this is back in like 2013 or something like that, so don't hold me against it. But like, I never wanted to collaborate. I was like, absolutely not. Write your own stuff. I'm the best. But like, collaborations are great. All of them are great. Collaborate with everybody because it makes for the best content. Like, you guys have like so much that you can do. So I think that's very admirable that anybody can just like kind of put their feathers back in and be like, all right, we can work together, and it's going to be great because you'll come out with like better content that way working together, you know.
100%.
I agree with that for sure. So let's talk about your everyday life, for example. So you told me a bunch of Netflix shows that you watch that I do not watch. such as the Queen's Gambit and stuff like that. Like I haven't gotten there. I'm more of a let's watch The Office and New Girl and Gossip Girl over and over and over again. But what I found very fascinating is that you watch anime, and I do not. I don't. I don't know anything about it. So if you could give me a crash course and just like short, quick, let's go. Like what do you know? What is it? Just tell me.
So
Your favorite? Why it would be my favorites? Because I know Dragon Ball Z doesn't really count anymore. I had an older brother, so that's all I
mean,
know.
DBZ is a classic, but anime is basically Japanese animated cartoon shows that like can extend across a variety of genres, including like action, thriller, slice of life, comedy, romance, the works. Like and now what's even breaking out is sports anime, and that has been like a huge success. And they're like considering it a slice of life type thing, but it's a sports anime no matter how you look at it. Um, but it's been like definitely like a way for me to connect not only with like my Japanese culture, but to also connect with like mainstream culture because like back then, like when I was in middle school watching Inuyasha on like Adult Swim, like people like in my friend group in middle school got made fun of because it's like that shit's nerdy, whatever. And now animes like Naruto are being like referenced in rap songs, and
Right.
Megan Thee Stallion is openly an anime fan and cosplayed as someone from My Hero Academia. So like anime is like been a quintessential part, in my opinion, of a lot of pop culture nowadays, which to me makes middle school me so happy because it's like you finally caught on. But I mean, again, there's such a wide variety of different shows to watch that it's like you could honestly get lost in it. It's crazy and it's so beautiful at the same time.
So, okay, so what's your favorite? If you had to pick one. One. Oh my God. Gun to your head. Literally, you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one, I'll say Haikyuu.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
So Haikyuu is a volleyball anime, and I really like it because what?
That sounds fun.
Volleyball. It's fun. I mean, personally, I love volleyball, and just seeing an anime about it was so great because number one, there is no such thing as a bad guy in that show. There is no villain.
Oh,
because they're all just high school kids wanting to play volleyball and win. Like you cannot dislike any of them. And I don't care if there are any Haikyuu fans in viewing this right now.
I'm sure there is.
If you come at me with any kind of character slander, I will come for you. That is not tolerated. Like all of them are angels and deserve the best. Okay, they all deserve to win, but I know they can't. But it's probably been my favorite for a long time now.
Awesome. So I'm going to move into something that's more in my realm. It is music. And you said, when I was talking to you, you said that you prefer a lot of punk rock and metal bands. And I want to know which band kind of got you into that scene. You saw
man.
one or MTV that was like, this is it, I'm here now, you know? Because that was what happened with me, so I'm assuming you had the same experience.
I totally did, and this might trigger some PTSD for you, but Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
It never does. I love Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, for sure.
Like, honestly, face down, like, that sent me down a spiral path of, like, punk rock, alternative rock, metal, screamo. It just started this downward spiral of down the rabbit hole of, like, discovering bands after band.
The thing is about Red Jumpsuit Apparatus is that of course, we all found them from face down. I mean, everyone, they will admit it themselves. Like, if you're writing about them, they know. But their like, that, like, album was, like, being played on speakers in Best Buy. So, like, when I was there, I was like, this is great. Like, I love this for us, but yeah, no, they're great. I love that. And that would definitely kind of spiral you into the rest of, like, the emo bands that are happening. And so if you had to list your top 5 favorite bands right now, who would they be?
Okay. This is a tough one. Can we just go to, like, my top played in my phone?
No, you have to pick them. No.
Oh, geez.
No cheating. You have to think. Like,
okay.
Nostalgic right now. How are you feeling? Like, who hits you in your heart?
All right.
But then I want to
hear
about five. Your ones that constantly play it. Yeah.
All right, so it's my top 5.
Right now, top. Mm-hmm.
All right, Paris, number 1.
Okay.
Ooh, boy. I'm just gonna say it now because it's gonna be in here anyway. We Came as Romans. Oh boy. Oh, this is so hard. I hope no fans like attack me for this.
It's okay. I'll list mine afterwards so that they can me instead. Okay.
Okay, that's fair. Hands Like Houses.
Oh, I like them. They're good.
Oh, I love them. I would marry every single one of them. This is so tough. They were a hardcore love of mine for a long time, but I cannot stand them anymore. Memphis Mayfire.
That's fair. None of these have made me judge you so far, so if that helps.
That does help. And then I don't know what suddenly made me really like them again. I Prevail.
That's also I don't like them that much, but sorry if you're watching I Prevail. I'm sure you are, because like what else better you have? You kind of suck. I don't like it that much.
Oh.
Wants to attack me in the comments? Go ahead. It's fine.
Yeah, and I mean, and the thing is too is that like, what are your favorite questions? Like those ones get me the hardest because I have such a hard time telling a band they're my favorite and not telling another band they're my like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm that kind of person.
Do better than you could have.
Okay, that's fair. But in terms of like all time, like back when in terms of all time favorites, A Day to Remember, number 1.
Okay, I will 100% respect that decision because I feel like they are definitely like a very good gateway band. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like they write the best, catchiest like hardcore songs. So like you still feel like you're hardcore while you're listening to them, but it's definitely got that melody vibe that you're here for. You know, like that's what.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. It hits hard, but it's got that melody that keeps you coming back because it's like, yeah, this is catchy.
Yeah,
That's been a huge thing for me, is if it's catchy.
Right.
They're definitely within, along with We Came as Romans, which losing Kyle was probably the saddest thing.
Yeah.
Like, personally, it devastated me because I had listened to, okay, so if we're talking about bands that mean the most to me, it's probably We Came as Romans, because I discovered them when I was at a very vulnerable time in my life. I was like in and out of like a lot of issues going on with me, and they had remained a constant. And when I had randomly met them outside of Warped Tour, like I was walking with my friends, and I randomly saw Dave and Kyle out in front, and I was like, did I need my glasses for today? Is this them?
We can talk about some tea a little bit then, because he passed away, unfortunately, right, Kyle?
Yeah.
Which it breaks my heart. And then they did so many great things with that, with the donations and everything like that. And he was included in a pamphlet saying that he was one of the ones that passed away, but no one was really like upset that the Grammys didn't really include his name on the screen. I personally was upset about that because I get it. The Grammys did put him in the pamphlet, that's fair. But at the same time, and maybe not many people that are watching the Grammys, that's not really their targeted audience, but it would have been nice just for just like a nice closure for me, his family, like you, that's a good emotional thing that you're attached to. It would have been nice to see his name right there.
I 100% agree, and don't get me wrong, We Came as Romans is still working on new music now, even without Kyle, and
it's great.
It's great, but like it still like hurts a little bit when I think about it because it's like, you know, any person, and I can say this like confidently, any person who ever met them like outside of a concert or like, outside of the stage, they were probably some of the sweetest guys you could have ever met and loved every single one of their fans. And I just knowing that Kyle like was a quintessential member of the band, it like killed me that they didn't include his name on the screen. And it's like,
really does a little bit. It's a sting, It's not something I'm gonna go sue the Grammys for, but it's definitely like,
right.
It's definitely like, just think about it, because there are some people that are definitely, I'm more attached to that than like what Beyonce is doing this week. Do I keep up with the Kardashians? Absolutely, but like, I'm definitely more stung by something that I had like more of an emotional connection to than I am than anyone else. I mean, it's fine. I get it, but I've always wanted to talk about that a little bit more in depth, just in general. But if you want to rip me apart for my top fave, it's Fall Out Boy is my favorite band of all time. Say All Time Low is a second. The Wonder Years is a third. Right? Taking Back Sunday and then Sum 41. That's my top 5.
Those, I mean, respect to you. Those are classics. They are legends, every single one of them. So, especially Fall Out Boy and All Time Low, I definitely feel like they helped open the scene up and make it more accessible to a lot of people.
Right. I'm not going to listen to an hour-long thing about Fall Out Boy, but Pete Wentz and their whole, like, the way they, like, made it work is such an inspiration for me. It's actually the reason why I decided to work in the music industry, because the way his mind works, like, he's not just a band dude. Like, he, like, made this stuff happen. So the way it works, and I mean, yeah, the music is obviously, but, fun fact, they released Take This to Your Grave under the Fueled by Ramen label to get the support of the Warped Tour kids, and then released from under the cork tree with Island Records to, like, get that mainstream vibe. And then that's I was like, that's so smart. I don't know. I could never.
That's some marketing shit right there.
And that was, like, Pete Wentz. And I'm like, what? That applause.
Right. Round of applause to you, Pete.
Round of applause for Pete Wentz.
Setting the example for business majors alike. God.
But that's it. That's my bands. That's it. And I'm not going to talk any more about it, but for sure.
I can support that.
Thank you. I appreciate you supporting me on that. So we talked about your top 5 favorite bands. Anyone from Manic Records that you're listening to?
Actually, yes. So, ever since I had been first introduced to the label and like talked with Pete and Jenna, New Age Affair has held a very special place in my heart. Number one, I love the dudes in the band. They are so sweet. They are so down to earth, and they write kick-ass music, and I love it. The High Ground is another favorite of mine. They also write very, very catchy music. It hits hard, not too hard. Still has that really nice punk edge, and it's something that you can either, number one, casually listen to, or it's something that you can dive into and listen to the whole album from front to back and be totally fine with it. Neverland, God, those ladies are girl bosses.
Yeah.
Oh, they hit me in the feels, and I'm like, fuck yeah, girl power. I love it. My recent obsession is Nautical Mile.
I think right?
They fucking better be.
You're right. There's just something about them. They have that, like, you're there for it. Like, they start playing, you're like, yeah, no, 100%. I don't know.
Even their music prior to them signing to Manic is like,
right.
Oh yeah, I'm totally all for this. And then they released Purgatory, and I'm like, I'm sorry. We need to get to know each other. So, Brody, if you're watching this, my DMs are open, bro. I'm just saying. Um, but
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a time difference with them. The whole Aussie Boys thing. So.
I mean, that's part of my obsession with Hands Like Houses, and that's part of all the bands I've seen live. They take the cake with how many times I've seen them live. I've seen them live more than We Came as Romans live. Yeah.
Really? Oh my God, that's crazy. I've not seen any of the bands on our label live at all. So, and I work for them. So then so
I mean, I totally wish that COVID wasn't a thing, so I could see them live and brands could tour. That way, I could go out and meet them and like work with them. But like, it's
right.
2022. Hopefully, things change and we can start doing things again. But for now, it's like we're gonna play it safe.
Right, for sure. We don't want to put anybody. I mean, as much as everybody wants a tour, and as much as I want to see a show, because it's been over a year since last month. It's fine. We're fine. COVID.
We're fine.
But we're here for you. It's fine. We're gonna respect you as it happens.
100%.
But you're on our list. It's fine. So you've mentioned that we're gonna circle around back to TikTok real quick, okay? You've mentioned that being on TikTok opened many opportunities for you when we were talking, me and you. Can you think of like a single opportunity that was like, I want to tell every single person, like if you're checking out at Walmart, you just want to be like, yes, guess what just happened to me? They're like, how's your day? I want to tell you about my day. Can you think of that?
Actually, yeah. So it sounds super lame, but like, the first ever brand to reach out to me, honestly, if I asked you to guess which brand was the first one to ever reach out to me, you would 100% never guess it.
I'm going to guess Bang.
Oh, no. No offense to anybody who drinks Bang, but that's like liquid it literally tastes like a melted cotton candy ball in a cup, and I hate that. It's too much.
Yeah, I hate all energy drinks. Just don't try to sponsor me, because I won't accept.
If you're a coffee brand, on the other hand, talk to me.
For sure. Even sponsor your coffee. Yeah.
Oh, yes, please. But no, the first brand that actually ever reached out to me for a collab opportunity was Fenty Beauty.
Oh, Rihanna's brand. I'm so excited right now. Is she even? She's Riri. Hey, what's up?
Riri, if you're watching, thanks, sis. I appreciated it. No, it was like the first ever collab I had ever done with a major brand, and I was like so awestruck because number one, I had mad respect for Rihanna opening up her own makeup brand and making it super inclusive and including a multitude of influencers from like every skin tone, every kind of background to be included in their campaigns. And so I was like super flattered, and they were like, yeah. We just wanted to like, it was for their Matte Micelle lipsticks, which I was like, okay, I'm not a huge lipstick wearer, and I cannot claim.
Rihanna asked you to be.
Yes, ma'am, I totally was. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm totally down to collab. And they're like, okay, so like, out of the shade range, which ones do you think you would be comfortable wearing and like putting in a video? And I was like, whichever ones you feel like, telling me to put on.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
I'm open to your guys' instruction. And they're like, okay, we'll send you some. Try them on. Let us know what you think. And if they totally fit your vibe, by all means, put it into whatever kind of video you like. So I did, and the whole message behind it was that, like, guys, and like, if there are a lot of men in here, please pay attention, because like, your girlfriends and wives will probably appreciate this advice later in life. And women, if you have a problem with what I'm gonna say, we need to have a talk. But men should not be afraid to wear makeup ever, because makeup is not there to emasculate you, and it's not there to make you feel less than if you put it on. And if anything, women, you should feel more comfortable with the fact that your man is totally comfortable having you put makeup on his face, because that shows that he's comfortable with who he is, he knows who he is, and he knows that makeup isn't going to define who he is. So, I wore this lipstick, and I was just like, damn, this actually looks really good on me. It feels great. And they posted it on their Instagram story, and I was like in such shock, because it's like, this was honestly just a thing for fun. I did not think that like stuff like this could happen to me.
Right.
So
that's amazing.
That was like the first thing that ever happened, and ever since then it had been like one surprise after the next. So it just continues to amaze me.
Right. Well, I love that for you, for sure.
Thank you.
That's really, I did not expect that coming, to be honest with you. Okay, so everyday life stuff. Like family. I'm not sure if you want to talk about your family. You do not have to. But what about dreams and aspirations outside of TikTok? And not just TikTok, but social media in general, because you have a good Instagram following too, obviously. So that's kind of how that is. Yeah.
Yeah, so in terms of like career goals and like aspirations and dreams, I mean, I'm open to wherever life takes me. Like, I, the only thing that I could ever ask is that I'm comfortable, I have a roof over my head, I have food in my mouth, and I'm safe in like wherever it is I am. It's not like, oh, well, you just don't have a specific dream. It's like, no, I do. I want to be successful in the career that I'm in. I want to be able to like be secure in like a house that I'm going to actually clarify a condo. After living in a house, I do not want to ever have to put up with lawn work, shoveling, gardening, none of that. You will not catch me in my 40s mowing my lawn because I will not have a lawn to mow. But no, that's my main thing. Is just I want to be super happy and comfortable with what I'm doing. And a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I want to be the CEO of a company by then, or I want to be the director of marketing, or I want to be like making a major breakthrough in a scientific field. It's like, no, I am open to wherever life takes me because life is super unpredictable, and I like to avoid disappointment by not having super specific goals. Like, I want to be the director of marketing for this specific company by this time. It's like, okay, what if you're not? Like, what are you going to do?
Right. For sure.
So as long as I'm doing something that makes me happy, whether it be more of a full-time gig with social media, or if it's more of an depth role with like AT&T now, I would be totally happy with that because it's number one, as long as I can put my mind to it, I will be good at it. And I'm very confident with that. It's like, there is nothing that you cannot teach me that I will not learn. Like, I'm not a brick wall. I'm very receptive to instruction and like getting things down to like perfection because I'm that kind of like OCD about stuff that I do. But it's for me, it's like when people ask me that kind of question, it's like, I hate to sound vague, but as long as I'm happy and like comfortable and like safe in that 5 years or like whatever time span, I will be 100% happy because that's all I can ever hope for right now is that I'm just happy and comfortable and safe.
Well, I'm really glad for you. As far as everything else, that's kind of all my questions for tonight. Of course, I want you to plug yourself. So everything you got, go for it. That's how we do it here. So
stream. I am It's Kiwi Cult on TikTok and Instagram. If you would like to shoot me a follow, check out my stuff. If my stuff is not for you and you don't feel like following me, that's also okay. Like, I don't judge you, but like, you're missing out. It's totally fine. And yeah, it's been Tabitha. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you today.
You too.
And thank you guys so much for having me. Manic Records, thank you guys so much for working with me and putting up with my extraness. You guys are the bomb. And if anybody's tuned into this stream and not checked out any of the bands signed with Manic Records, I don't know what it is you're doing.
What are you doing? Come on, let's do it.
Honestly, get it together. Check them out, especially New Age Affair, The High Ground, Nautical Mile, Neverland. Any bands you want to plug, Tabitha?
In Winds, Talia, Small Fish, Big Pond. I probably butchered their name a little bit. There's a lot going on with it, but yeah, check them all out. Actually, just check out the whole roster. The Anchor, all of them. Just check them out. They're great.
Check, please. Also, When Thieves Are About, please check them out.
Oh, When Thieves Are About, Alfredo. Yes.
Come on, Fredo. I'm all for them. Oh my god.
That's all we got for tonight. But thank you for tuning in. If you did. If not, if I'm talking to nobody, this is weird.
Yeah, that would be super awkward. But thank you guys for tuning into the stream. Hope you guys have a great night.